Brandon Beane's been at work, ladies and gentlemen. While I was going to bed, I got a text from Richie, my buddy over at Roundtable Sports, with a screenshot of a Tom Pelissero tweet that said, Joey Bosa, defensive end, formerly on the Chargers, is now a Buffalo Bill. And then this morning, I get back from my workout, and I see that Larry Ogunjobi, interior defensive tackle, is now a Buffalo Bill as well. It sounds like Brandon Beane was not lying during his postseason press conference where he said it is to the utmost importance that we focus on getting to the quarterback. We focus on building this defensive line to be an impact team. And rest be assured, 3 out of the 4 acquisitions the Buffalo Bills have brought in for this brief free agency period already have been additions on the defensive line. And damn, I am excited to unpack each and every single one of them. Folks, if you are new here, my name is Dan Mitchell. I put out NFL content and Buffalo Bills content each and every single day, including a bunch of hot topics, hot button topics that we will all discuss. I typically structure my shows as I give you my soapbox approach. I give you my soapbox discussion where I yap 15 to 20 minutes. And then afterwards, I ultimately end up transitioning over to the live chat where I allow my live audience to take control of the conversation. If you are watching the replay of this video, I highly recommend you turn on bell notifications when you subscribe, because I want each and every single one of you to be a part of my live chat community one of these days. We have a great squad of people rolling on over. Shout out to everybody that is tuning in already. Sam comes in with a great question already. He asked me this on X, and he said, Dan, is there any chance that a Jones replacement, is Dayquon Jones going to be saying goodbye to the Buffalo Bills with all of these moves? I wouldn't say that, but we will look at the contract implications and see if that is something that would benefit the finances of the Buffalo Bills. But have no fear. Have no fear, folks. We are going to be unpacking everything when it comes into not only Joey Bosa, but also Larry Ogunjobi. Obviously, Michael Hoyt's, this defensive line has indeed been being addressed. Now, folks, I need to give a giant shout out to BetUS. BetUS is the #1 sports book on the face of the planet when it comes into everything and anything sports betting. The best thing about it is that they are matching 150% of your first deposit all the way up to $2,000, 125% of your second and your third deposit up to the exact same figure. As long as you use code YouTube150. They have basketball lines, ice hockey, baseball, including NFL draft lines and future free agency, in case you're interested in taking a look at what they have to offer. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this channel. But zero questions asked, folks. Another shocker this morning. And I know we haven't had a chance to really speak on this. But last night, obviously, had Joey Bosa. And then we ultimately ended up signing Larry Ogunjobi, defensive tackle, formerly on the Steelers. His best play, I would say, had to be when he was on the Cincinnati Bengals. In 2021, he had his best year. We can go ahead, we can pull this up real fast. Scrolling down, he ended up going to, wow, holy shit, the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Okay. Shout out to those small little schools. Ragsdale, North Carolina. He's 6'3", 305 pounds. But he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, and then Cincinnati, his one season over there, was his best, where he recorded about 7 sacks, 49 tackles, 29 solo, 12 tackles for a loss. And then he ended up going over to Pittsburgh, where the same production really wasn't there, although that he was able to stay relatively healthy. I'm not really seeing any seasons where he missed a significant amount of time. It looked like that last year in Pittsburgh, he wasn't really getting a lot of play. He was largely just a depth piece added from the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I'm hoping, would be nice, that a 7-sack season, especially coming out of the interior, could potentially be an option. Larry Ogunjobi, this is where we are looking at. Now, what I find intriguing is looking at some of the specifics, the advanced analytics behind this defensive lineman, this defensive tackle. I kind of want to get a good understanding of what we're getting out of this guy. Now, based off of his size, I don't believe that he is the kind of guy that's going to be in rotation with Ed Oliver and or Dayquon. As well, excuse me. I do think that he will be directly behind Dayquon Jones as far as a depth piece. I do not think that we are going to avoid a defensive tackle in the early portion of the NFL draft. But to give you an idea, let's go ahead and take a look here. Numbers really aren't jumping out. Like right at this point, his defensive grade was 48.3. His run defense was 41.6. Tackling 44. Just going ahead, you scroll down, you see like missed tackles here and there against some pretty solid run offenses that he went up against. But that right there is Larry Ogunjobi. Welcome to the Buffalo Bills. In my opinion, a depth signing, and we'll see whether or not that he has much of an impact. I have a feeling that this defensive line is largely going to be a rotation, if you will. Now, I did want to bring this up because somebody on X and somebody in the live chat right now, we ended up seeing, he said, no sleep. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. He says, whoa, dude, no sleep. Say some females for the rest of us, Dan. Sheesh. Thank you so much, man. You know, it's the gun show. I smell like shit right now, but thank God that technology is now advanced to a point where you can smell what's coming and what's reeking from my body. But I did want to discuss this question here from Sam, and shout out Sam for providing this. He was asking whether or not that this is a sign that perhaps we walk away from Dayquon Jones. Let's take a look. Dayquon Jones here. Let's take a look at what we got here. Okay. We have Dayquon Jones, right? Go ahead and pull up his contract over here. In 2025, base salary is at about $7.5 million. A restructure candidate indeed. $9.4 million cap hit. And then if we end up doing this, say that we release him, we save $1.7 million, $7.6 million in dead cap immediately. Say that we traded him, I guess that we can get about $4 million in cap savings. A post June 1st cut, which doesn't help us out at all in free agency and or in the draft, really wouldn't make sense. And a post June 1st release would be about $5.5 million. So I don't really see a lot of the benefits behind like walking away from him now if the intention was to squander up or find some more money for potential free agency signings. So I don't think that a Larry Ogunjobi signing is a sign as of yet for Dayquon Jones, because dead cap would be quite a bit and the cap savings would not be like really something that would excite me at this point. But have to talk about the next dude, right? Have to talk about our next guy. And I know my buddy Jesse, he's kind of laughing and he kind of has he sort of has a sense of relief that his 49ers didn't ultimately end up taking this guy. It's funny because I did see a couple of 49ers fans on TikTok and on Instagram absolutely upset that Joey Bosa was not on the 49ers. As many of you guys know, I'm not even going to attempt to hype this up, right? Because as many of you know, when we were discussing the possibility of Joey Bosa wearing a Buffalo Bills uniform, I was the furthest thing from excited. I was the furthest thing from an advocate. But when it comes down into it, he's made of glass, right? Like, dude has struggled staying healthy. And last year, even with the LA Chargers, he still ended up missing a couple of games, only started about 9. But then again, with defensive linemen, when you see games started, just understand that they're rotational by not starting, meaning that he wasn't out there for the first snap of the defense. So don't look at that in a specific way. He's largely been a rotational piece for the Chargers when healthy. Now, I will tell you what, he was healthier than he was in 2022 and 2023. But 5 games available in 2022, that was something. 9 games in 2023. 16 games available in 2021 and 2019. 16 games. So really when I'm looking at this, guys, what the hell's going on here? Okay. So really when I'm looking at this, I am counting, right? 1, 2, 3. and maybe I'll count this one just for shits and gigs because he only missed 3 games that year, right? He has only played 3 full seasons in his entire career. So that's something I think that we all need to taper our expectations to. Do I think that the ceiling is very high? Absolutely. Do I think that if he can put up and stay healthy for 16 games, he still has it? He's 29 years old. And let's take a look at the seasons in which that he did stay healthy. In 2019, holy hell, that feels forever ago, had 11 and a half sacks, right? 12 and a half sacks in 2017 when he was fully healthy. 10 and a half his rookie season. Last healthy season right here, 10 and a half at 16 games, missed a couple at 12, at 7 and a half, 13, 14, 15, 16. I suppose he's on pace for about 10 plus each and every single season. But of course, that suggests that he's going to stay healthy, right? So when I look at this guy's contract, it is fully guaranteed, by the way. It is $12.5 million guaranteed. That means that that goes against our cap space immediately this year. It is a one-year deal, but it's just something I want to throw out there for you guys. Something to taper expectations. Do I think that he has the opportunity or there is a chance that he could be the Joey Bosa of old? Yes, I do. Small chance, but yes. Do I think that he can give us 16 games, 17 games, including playoffs, with no injury setbacks? I mean, sure, perhaps he can, but his resume is not necessarily suggesting otherwise. So we're just going to have to hope that our training staff can somehow pull off a miracle. And listen, I'm not even going to sit here and blame him entirely. We are talking about a medical staff and a training staff over in the LA Chargers, which ended up puncturing Tyrod Taylor's lung a couple of years ago. All right. So for all I know, their training staff was absolute shit. All right. And Joey Bosa just wasn't getting the right treatment over there. Maybe he can come out and give us 16 games. But regardless, you look at this, hashtag sports actually put this out beautifully. He still hates the move. He still hates the move. Mario still hates the move, but he did put it out this way, if this makes you feel better. If any of you are pissed that we ended up going for Joey Bosa rather than trading for a Trey Hendrickson, this is exactly what Mario said, which I think makes sense. Maybe it makes you feel better, but was like this. I hate this at $12.6 million. Then I realized Bills replaced Vaughn with Bosa. Bills saved $9 million cutting Von Miller. Signed Bosa for 12.6. Bosa was technically just a $3.6 million one-year deal, if that is how you want to look at it. But then Mario ended up saying, I still hate it. So something to consider. Something to consider there. But we have Joey Bosa, folks. He is now a Buffalo Bill, an edge rusher. Let's pray that he can stay somewhat healthy. And then Larry Ogunjobi, where we have already discussed so far that he has one season of quality pressure. His run defense grades on PFF are not jumping out to me. He is a big body. I'm assuming he is a depth piece, almost a Jordan Phillips depth piece. He is a Jordan Phillips replacement, if you will. But we will see. We have DW coming in and saying that Asante Samuel Jr. signed with the Jets. I'm not sure if that is true. If it is, my heart has just broken into a million pieces, but let me double check this. Asante Samuel Jr. Let me double check. Oh, no, he's still available. Fake news, ladies and gentlemen. Fake news. All right. I actually like it for the Bills. Bosa is a good run defender and can get after the quarterback. He just can't stay healthy. But the risk/reward for a Super Bowl ready team makes sense. The 49ers are retooling. I'm glad that Jesse was able to provide a bit further context because he was adamant about not adding Joey Bosa to the San Francisco 49ers. But this does make me feel very good. And I also like the fact that he is a solid run defender on the edge. It sounds like, folks, that we are trying to address two different things, stopping the run and then also being able to get to the quarterback. I think that a lot of offenses are going to have to attempt to run the football right up the gut. And depending, of course, on who we pick up during the draft, it may be very difficult for teams to run against us in the first place because Gregory Rousseau is no slouch when it comes into the run defense or the run game, defending the run, and neither is Joey Bosa. So say, for example, that we go out and we get ourselves a damn Kenneth Grant or we get ourselves a damn Derek Harmon, watch out, and running the football against the Buffalo Bills is going to be very difficult. I am on the same exact wavelength with you on Bosa, bro. Like, look, it's not something. So I'm not going to say, oh my God, I'm pissed about this signing. It's a 1 year, $12.5 million deal. Save $9 million from cutting Vaughn. In all reality, we replace Von Miller, and his contract is technically $3.5 million. He's a hell of a lot more injury prone, but he is a rotational piece. Don't be surprised if we go for yet another edge rusher in the draft. Don't be surprised if we ultimately end up going in. So an interior defensive tackle. So solid stuff. Solid stuff. Fake news gets timed out for at least a minute. No fake news, guys. Dwayne is going to put his boot up your ass for fake news, folks. Bills just traded Josh Allen for Nate Peterman. That stuff's funny. That stuff is funny. It's so ridiculous that I can't, that no one can believe it. All right. We just re-signed Hamlin so far. I thought this offseason was awesome as far as the signing, but then we bring back Damar Hamlin. Daniel McLeod is coming in, and let me fact check this. He's staying in Buffalo. He has re-signed with the Bills on a 1-year deal. Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, Hamlin, your Buffalo Bill safety trio. So we have Damar Hamlin to another deal. Fuck it. Hey, dude. No. Listen, I don't think Damar is that bad of a ball player. I wanted Julian Blackmon. Yes, I did. Now, do I think that that's going to deter us from focusing on a Nick Emenwari or an Xavier Watts, perhaps? But signed fucking Damar Hamlin, folks. Hamlin is back. Oh, dude, listen. I got to make a TikTok on this because it's going to be rage bait. It's basically rage bait, really, anytime that there is Damar Hamlin news across the Buffalo Bills. And daddy got to pay bills, you know what I mean? Rage bait pays the bills, baby. It puts the bacon on the table. Damar sucks, Gary. Gary, come on, man. Listen, all right. So I've said this before. Is Damar Hamlin an elite safety? No. Not by a long shot. But is Damar Hamlin absolutely trash? Like one of the worst safeties ever to play the game? No. I feel like people are on one extreme or the other. I feel like Damar Hamlin is a serviceable starter. Is he a game changer? Absolutely not. He's a pretty good run defender. He's a good tackler. He improved significantly in coverage last year. I feel like people just hate him because Matthew Smiley decided that it would be a good idea to run a fake punt against the Kansas City Chiefs 2 years ago in the playoffs. Right? And no, I'm not sitting here being like, oh my God, he died. Like, you have to respect him for that one. It's just, I think it's silly that people want to say that Damar is the worst starting safety in the NFL. It's not true. He's not elite by any stretch of the imagination, but like, I think people that overly hate the guy are just silly. Anyway, let's make a little update right here, folks. Influencers in the wild, guys, smash that like button. We will continue talking about all of these new pieces that come in. The most impactful signing, Damar Hamlin. Super Bowl is confirmed. Oh my God. Oh my God, folks. Don't let me. So, ladies and gentlemen, to unpack a very busy free agency for the Buffalo Bills, the cherry on top. The Buffalo Bills are signing Damar Hamlin. Super Bowl confirmed. Now, to be completely honest with you, I think that people that overly hate Damar Hamlin are completely wrong. I think that people think that Damar is some like generational talent that is slept on, or also wrong. the hate for the safety really just hasn't made sense to me. Now, when you look at it, he is a pretty serviceable tackler. He's solid in the run game. And I thought that his coverage skills in 2024, when his number was called to be the starting safety of the Buffalo Bills, or one of them, really improved. And the fact that he ended up beating out Mike Edwards, hold up. And the fact that he ended up beating out Mike Edwards for the starting position should also speak volumes to you guys. Like, Sean McDermott is not going out there and playing favorites because he likes somebody. He is a professional, right? And he is going to put the best possible player in that position. And Damar won it. Now, do I think that Damar Hamlin is going to be the future? Not necessarily. He is signing a one-year deal. I still see the Buffalo Bills being somewhat interested in targeting the likes of a Nick Emenwari and Xavier Watts, or maybe safeties later on in the draft. But for now, Damar Hamlin back on the Buffalo Bills. Bills tweeted it. It's definitely real. Let's see. Let's see. Buffalo Bills re-sign Damar Hamlin. Yeah, for some reason, like, that hate surrounded like Damar just doesn't make sense to me. I have no idea what that dude did to him. I have no idea what Damar Hamlin did to half of Bills Mafia, but I have never seen a more controversial figure in my life, right? And by no means am I saying that this dude is like neck and neck with Kyle Hamilton. That's so that's pretty crazy. Buffalo Bills sign Damar Hamlin. This is going to piss off a lot of people, but you know what? Daddy got to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Anyway, Damar Hamlin, NFL free agency. Yes, I'm thinking out loud, folks. And so y'all are weird too. Just don't have the balls to show it. I'm kidding. I love y'all. All right, let's see. I think the Bills Mafia is annoyed by the culture priority Bills fans. Yeah, so the culture priority is low-key really annoying. Like, low-key really annoying. Like, I would say, like, my biggest annoyance was when people were pounding the table and having a meltdown when we didn't bring back Mac Hollins. Like, Mac Hollins, like, 5 touchdowns and 330 yards of offense was irreplaceable. Like, that's kind of crazy. I really don't like that take. Be like, oh my God, like, we need the culture, right? Like, the culture, man. That's what's important. Like, yeah, like, he was barefoot. That's cool. He was good. But I mean, guys, listen, like, we completely replaced that production. Like, we basically almost doubled that production from an offensive yard standpoint. Maybe not a special teams, like, so maybe not a special teams impact, but like, we have definitely doubled the production by bringing in Palmer as far as offensive yards and also upside, like with Hollins. I could totally get that. We have Joseph Rodriguez, Kansas City fallout has to be studied. What happened with Elam? I haven't seen anything with Elam. Sorry about putting my Pellegrino right in front of your face, boys. Kyer Elam. I have not seen any updates. I have not seen any updates. No update on Kyer Elam, boys. Hey, who knows? Maybe Brandon Beane ain't done. So we announcing Asante Samuel Jr. to this crib, or are we just exclusively focusing on the draft? And by the way, folks, I know what's going through your mind right now. I have no idea where the Buffalo Bills cap space is, like, right now, because they still haven't updated the specifics of Josh Allen's contract on Spot Track, haven't added Joey Bosa, haven't added all of these other signings. So quite frankly, I have no idea how much more money we have to spend. I have no idea of how much more money we have to spend. That's just boys and girls. Carly, I am so sorry. I am so sorry to the ladies. I call all of you boys, right? And I am sorry. Boys and girls, homies and homettes. In fact, shout out to the ladies that watch this stream. And so I know that you are few, but you are mighty. Few, but mighty. And I appreciate you guys rocking with me no matter what. All right. Shout out to the ladies, guys. And throw a celebratory emoji in the chat, boys, for the ladies. This is giving me life. Carly, boys and girls. You're right, Carly. Folks, shout out to the ladies in the chat. Thank you. Yeah. Spam W ladies in the chat right now. W women in the chat. This is giving me life. Yes, Megan. What's going on? Hope all is well. Aislinn, is Hamlin just a placeholder until we pick up a better safety? So I could assume it was probably a pretty cheap deal, right? I suppose it was probably a pretty cheap deal. So do I think that we're still going to be hitting the draft and attempting to find a safety? 110%, right? Because right now, like what? We only have 3. I suppose you could say Cam Lewis can play safety, but there's still only 3, right? There's Taylor Rapp, there's Cole Bishop, and there's Damar Hamlin. So we need to run with 4 safeties almost each and every single season, typically. I still think that we're going to go out and attempt to find a safety replacement. Breaking, Hamlin traded to the Browns for a pair of socks and money. W women, hey ladies are in the chat. W ladies. Oh man, look at that, man. We are men of people over here, man. Okay, personally, I am annoyed that Damar keeps winning the starting position even over our high draft picks and good free agency signings. He's just so mid. So the thing is that Cole Bishop is basically behind Rapp, and for the most part, because both of them kind of fit the mold of the strong safety position, like a dude that's really good at defending the run, solid tackler. And Damar Hamlin kind of technically took over the free safety position. And surprisingly enough, he just had a better training camp than Mike Edwards last year, right? So I don't think it says anything to do with Damar Hamlin. It just had everything to do that suggested that Mike Edwards, who we brought in from free agency, just wasn't good, right? Like, dude just wasn't good. And Damar Hamlin was better than him. So I don't think that this team is going out there and just starting him because, like, they feel bad for him. And they're ignoring a free agent, or they're ignoring other options at the free safety position because they're like, oh my God, it's Damar though, man. Like, he's like the poster guy for this Buffalo Bills team because of what happened to him. I just don't think it's that deep. And do I hope that like we can find a safety that's solid in coverage in the draft that replaces him? Absolutely, because there's a lot left to be desired. There is a lot left to be desired. I mean, we'll see. Beane is trying to avoid the multi-year deals and sticking to a 1 year. I mean, dude, listen, he's doing his thing. Yeah, bro. But we all know full well that Damar is going to start over our first or second round safety in the draft. I'd bet on it. Oh, I know. Because we do know that Sean McDermott's not a fan of rookies, right? Like, just look at what happened to Cole Bishop when he got burned by Nico Collins, all right? Like, we didn't see that fool again until the end of the season. I'm definitely happier with the pass rush, but we need secondary Beane. Yes, most definitely. I'm still holding on to hope, but again, I've checked Spot Track, and they have still yet to update all the specifics of the Josh Allen extension, and then also so the Josh Allen extension, and then also the Rousseau extension. I think Rousseau is just estimates at this point. Like, once that's all said and done, then we'll have a good idea of what kind of money we have left. And there's still some restructures that could be done. I assume that maybe we do a restructure, but we will see. We have Catherine Potter. What is Damar's PFF? It's not as bad as you guys think. Like, people that hate on Damar are going to be shocked once they see this. All right, watch this. It's not as bad as what you think. Right? Let me see. Let me go. Damar Hamlin, PFF. It's not as bad as what you think it is, right? Like it's not elite. So I'm not sitting here, right? Like he was 107th out of 170 safeties, right? Not terrible, right? Like he's not the worst by any stretch of the imagination. His run defense is at 70.9. His coverage is at 54. He was 125th out of 70. His run defense, 53rd out of 170, 107th out of 70. So like really not all that bad. A massive jump, like semi-decent in coverage in 2023. His run defense sort of took a hit the year before. So he's not a Kyle Hamilton, right? He's not a damn like Buda Baker or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that, but I just don't think he's god awful, right? He's mid. He's mid. I think that's probably like the best thing. And I am fine with paying a mid player mid money. McDermott is not starting Elam. He absolutely hates that guy. I'm interested if anyone's dumb enough to take that contract. Where's Ravens for life? Go. That mofo's scared. Why is he scared? Beane, we need secondary. We can't just give out free contracts to someone's life. No disrespect to Damar, but he's not that good. It is a 1-year deal. We don't know. Well, here, let's see how much money it was. Let's see how much money we gave the dude. The Bucs are signing Greg Gaines, guard. We have Joey Bosa. We have Michael Hoyt, Larry Ogunjobi. We have Josh Palmer and Darrington Evans and Damar Hamlin, folks. Damar Hamlin back on the roster. I still feel like we go after a safety in the draft, though. Hoping. Updating things. As it stands, plan A for the Bills at safety should be rolling with Bishop and Rapp. They played well as a tandem last year. It's an interesting take. I'm not seeing specifics of how much money he got. Yeah. There's no money specifics. All right, we have Curtis Samuel to outside receiver thoughts. Use them to stretch the field since he is our fastest receiver, increase his role on the team. So I'll tell you what, Millie Rock, we might as well, right? Because he's still under contract. We gave him a pretty significant deal last year. 3-year, was it 30 million, guys, right? Let me double check. Spot track, Curtis Samuel. Let me double check. Yeah, I'm going to double check on this one because this is actually pretty significant. Great question. Great question. My answer, yeah, for sure, I would say, right? All right, so he got a 3-year, $24 million contract. His salary in 25 is $6.9 million. I think a restructure is actually possible for Curtis Samuel as well. His cap hit is at $9 million. And us walking away from Curtis Samuel makes 0 sense. Like, we would lose $3 million if we released him. A trade, like, who in the hell is going to trade for him? So, honestly, like, $430,000 in cap savings this year for a trade. And, like, we could post June 1st, but, like, what the hell is that going to help out? So, as far as his money, you're damn right. Try anything you can with Curtis Samuel at this point because we have him under contract. Let's really hope, man. Listen, he was battling a turf toe injury for the vast majority of the season last year. And I'm not sure if any of you have had a turf toe injury before, especially playing high school sports or maybe even in college. But that shit lingers. Like, that's not something that, like, you rest up for a couple of weeks and it's good. It's one of the most lingering, aggravating injuries anybody could ever have. And you notice that he started taking over toward the back half of the season. So I think Curtis Samuel still has a lot left in the tank. And I think Curtis Samuel might actually be a massive surprise to a lot of us. He's fast as hell. Like, as Millie Rock just said, he's like 4'4", 4'4", 4'3", 8", like one of the two. Still has great separation. Him and Josh Allen just had zero chemistry last year. Like, I think it was only 68% of passes to Curtis Samuel from Josh this past year were on target. By far the worst rate out of any other wide receiver on this team. So I really hope that Josh can gain some sort of chemistry with the guy. I'm fine with putting him on the outside. He has played on the outside before. He's got the speed, man. We got it. Like, we just need to utilize the guy. Dan, and the Palmer pickup pisses me off the most due to the lack of speed. From what I understand, Dwayne, I think, and this is actually intriguing because yesterday I was saying that he was a Mac Hollins replacement, but somebody pointed out in the comment section and said, Dan, he's actually a younger Amari Cooper replacement. And at first, I was kind of like, okay, this takes kind of outlandish. But then I started thinking about it. And shout out to that guy that put that in the comment section. Apologies, your name is not coming to mind. But Palmer is a very good route runner. His separation is absolutely insane, especially this past season. I want to say during the playoffs, like, guys' routes are very, very crisp. Has a lot of upside at 25 and 26. He still creates separation, like right on the outside, on the perimeter. So I'm okay with the signing. And that also means that I think that we're still going out and wanting to find a speedster on the outside, but I think that we're just going to get our speed in the draft. That's kind of where it is. So I don't even necessarily see him being a Mac Hollins replacement. He's more of a Moneyball Amari Cooper replacement. Intriguing there. And by the way, guys, from what I'm seeing, it sounds like a Cole Bishop and a Taylor Rapp tandem are very, very possible. Danny Boy Pookie, can we still trade for Trey? I don't think that's a possibility anymore, man. I would be shocked. But then again, I mean, I really don't think anybody thought that we would go for 3 back-to-back-to-back defensive linemen in free agency, so I don't want to speak on behalf of Brandon Beane or anybody else at this point, but damn, folks, if you are just tuning in, please do me a favor and smash that like button. It's the easiest way to show love over here. And also subscribe to the channel as well and turn on bell notifications. We are unpacking all of the free agency acquisitions, specifically the ones that happened from Joey Bosa all the way to Larry Ogunjobi. And of course, the Super Bowl cherry on top, Damar Hamlin. And Diggs was a 4.6, 4.7 and got separation. Yeah, like, you can, but I still think you do need speed, and speed is probably going to be something that we will be looking for in the draft. Yeah, but Dan, we need a field stretcher, and JA needs a bigger field to throw in. So the good thing is that we only have 4 wide receivers on the roster right now, right? 4 like starting caliber guys. So we still need 2 players to replace like those. And I don't have faith in really any of the guys that signed futures contracts or were on the practice squad last year. So we need 2 more guys. So I think that's certainly in the plans for the team. Just don't fuck it up, Brandon Beane, all right? So, I mean, we do have 6 picks in the first 4 rounds and 10 picks overall, including those compensatory picks, which is also a massive update. Cooper, for the right price, is definitely worth re-signing. He's still a pending free agent. Which is pretty wild. I just have a funny feeling he's going to end up on the New England Patriots because no receiver wants to go to the Patriots. And I think Amari Cooper still has a lot of upside. He just ended up getting screwed up. Wow. Larry Ogunjobi got $8 million guaranteed. That's like peanuts, especially compared to a lot of the defensive line contracts we've seen out there. I bet Beane tried to get Hendrickson and realized he didn't have the money and didn't want to max out 3 credit cards. So he maxes out one for Bosa. That's actually funny. Hold up. All right, we got Mike is coming in and saying an MVP quarterback with the worst separating wide receivers in the league last year is absolutely wild. Hence why he deserves it a lot more than initially thought. Anyone who watched Curtis Samuel in his Commanders tenure knows he is a speedster. He runs a 4.31, and his pro comp was a Percy Harvin. I just feel like he wasn't utilized last year, and there was a lack of chemistry between him and Josh Allen. I'm just hoping for the best. I got to stand up. Listen, I'll be right back. And so I got to go grab a Zinachino. Be right back. All right. Let's talk ball. We have Truth to Hearts is coming in. And to the guy that said Diggs was a 4.67, he ran a 4.46. Stop saying random stuff. Truth to Hearts out here, man, laying down the law. No fake news in this chat. Diggs will probably go back to Houston. I mean, would he though? Right? Like, would he? Because it seems like that they've been very adamant on bringing in quite a few wide receivers. So far, they've brought in, who did they bring in? A Christian Kirk. And they also ended up bringing in a Braxton Berrios. And they brought in one more wide receiver. Yeah, one more. And Stephon Diggs to the New England Patriots. I could see that or the Dallas Cowboys. Who will the Bills sign next? I hope it's Asante Samuel Jr. Me too, man. But for some reason, I just have a gut feeling that we are done. I have a gut feeling, and I'm not particularly excited about it. But I think that we might be done. And it's not because I don't think that it's a good financial decision. I just think that we're probably just gearing up to the draft at this point because everything else is locked down and loaded. 2 words, Kyle Juszczyk. We just ended up re-signing Reggie Gilliam, though, didn't we? I want to say we brought back Reggie Gilliam. Does Diggs make the Bills Hall of Fame once he retires? I think he would. Seems like Houston has moved on. Yeah, like he's ended up. Yeah, so the Texans ended up adding 3 wide receivers. And then again, we have Tank Dell's out for the entire year in 2025. So maybe there's still an option or an opportunity of him coming back. I am guessing, and the 1-year deals for Bosa and Ogunjobi have void years attached. I'm still waiting on the specifics for those deals. So I do know with Joey Bosa's $12.5 million that is fully guaranteed, and it's up to 15. And then with Ogunjobi's at 10. So, and here's the deal, Dustin. I have no idea about any of these specifics of the cap number right now because still the specifics of the Josh Allen contract has yet to be like made public. And all they have is estimations for Gregory Rousseau. I still think that there are a couple of restructures that could potentially happen because we need to be cap compliant by 4 p.m. EST today. So I have a feeling today is about to be a super busy day as far as cap compliance. It's not ASJ, LOL, Bills suck. It's not Asante Samuel Jr. I feel like people get obsessed with names. And I do like Asante Samuel Jr. I still want him to be on the team. But I am happy with this free agency so far. It's definitely a GM that is recognizing and being self-aware enough to understand that we have always had a massive defensive line issue, and I'm glad that he is addressing that. My question is, how will Buffalo welcome back Diggs? Would they forget the drama he caused and moved on? I am not assuming that Diggs is coming back. Other than maybe Bosa, seems like the Bills are plugging holes. Now just need 2/3 corners, frees them to take the best player in the draft, and don't need to overdraft to fill a spot. Look, right? That's a great way of looking at it, Arthur. And that's a way that I encourage all of us to start looking at it as well. We have 10 draft picks, 10 of them. with those compensatory picks, like we have a significant amount in the first 4 rounds. I have a feeling that we're going to be able to trade up into the 3rd round as well. And he brings up a great point, because even when you were watching my content, you heard me say, oh my God, I hope it's Kenneth Grant, or oh my God, I hope it's Derek Harmon, right? But I think with our strong focus on the defensive line and free agency, I think now with that 30th overall pick, we could end up taking best player available and bringing a dog on this team rather than being married to a specific position. I mean, I don't know. Like, yes, we can go a corner, but yeah, I mean, shit, like worst case scenario, like we draft a solid CB2, right? Or we go for a solid wide receiver. And I know everyone loves Matthew Golden, but don't you dare sleep on Luther Burden from Missouri. Don't sleep on Luther Burden. And people are going to look at his production in 2023 and 2024 and say, oh, Dan, he regressed really bad in 2024. He really didn't. His targets just completely diminished because they have somebody that's also very good a couple of years younger. Like Luther Burden's still a dog, too. In fact, let me see this. Let me see this fool's 40. Let me see this fool's 40. Luther Burden, 40. Let me see. 4.41, fast. Curtis Samuel, 40. He had a 4.31. I had no idea Curtis had a 4.31. We got a speedster on the outside, folks. 4 Kids Party Rental. Big Baller Beane, every signing was an upgrade. I can appreciate that, man. Shout out to everybody with the super chats so far, man. And then shout out to Grimjaw649. Grim, I am so sorry that I'm just now getting to this. These moves do not sway me for wanting Ojulari. If he's there in a couple of days / weeks, dude is only 24, and we can probably get him pretty damn cheap. I mean, listen, dude, I am fine with as many investments on the defensive line as humanly possible. If LA releases Cup, wouldn't they do it post June 1st? Yes. So financially, probably. But I don't think that the cap implications are as bad. But even if they did end up releasing him post June 1st, they could designate him as a post June 1st release. And that means that he just wouldn't come off of their books until June 1st. He could still sign with whatever team he wanted to. It just depends on where they designate him, right? Very similar situation of when we ended up releasing Trey White, right? We released Trey White as post June 1st as a designation, but then a couple of weeks later, he signed with the LA Rams. But Trey White was still on our books for accounting purposes until June 1st. So that's what a post June 1st means. What's up, dog? It's my dog. He's saying hello. Malachi Starks. Yeah, he's a dude. My only issue with Luther Burden is that he would be competing for snaps with Shakir. Yeah. I'm just stoked Beane actually took a freaking swing. Let me ask you this. Would you rather what Vaughn did last year or Bosa for 14 games? It's an easy pick. So I think the biggest concern with Joey Bosa is he has only played 3 full seasons as far as 16, 17 games. He has only ever played 3 full seasons without some sort of injury that has kept him out. I'm really hoping our training staff can change that. That's the goal. I'd rather have Calais Campbell over Ogunjobi. Allen did Brady playbook. Marry rich, take less money. So to be honest with you, Josh Allen has way more money than Haley Steinfeld. Way more. She's only worth $20 million. I mean, only, right? Holy shit. Yeah. Well, Josh Allen is worth 10x what Haley Steinfeld is worth. 10x. Josh is indeed the sugar daddy over in that situation. Get Bosa to the playoffs. And the combine is useless. You have Jay. I was shocked to learn that Joey Bosa is only 29 years old. It feels like forever. He's been in the league since 2016. And dude was on the San Diego Chargers, bro. And he's 29 years old, for further context. Is Buffalo going to limit Bosa snap count like we did with Vaughn? He's probably going to be a rotational guy, man. He was a rotational guy largely over in LA. Bob is being traded to the Dolphins and the TD room. He is not. Bob is staying. Bob is staying here. Bob has signed a 5-year fully guaranteed contract. We just need Bosa to be fully healthy for 4 playoff games. Who cares how many games he plays this season? I'm calling all Canadians. We need a new punter and a place kicker. And you can't predict injuries, those, Dan. And you always have to think/hope for healthy seasons. Of course. I mean, that's exactly what I'm hoping for. That is exactly what I'm hoping for. And again, he is coming from a training staff that punctured Tyrod Taylor's lung a couple of years ago. So I'm not saying they have the best resources over in the Chargers facility. I guess Blackman is out of the radar. I will look over the Hamlin signing if Beane can get us Samuel Jr. Go Bills. And do remember, it's not just free agency that builds a team, right? Like, look back and think about the past couple of Super Bowl winners. It's all been like star players that were drafted and developed that ultimately ended up winning, right? Like, really need to look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, who are their impact players over there? Like, all guys that they drafted and they developed up, right? I'd probably say the same thing for the Kansas City Chiefs, right? A lot of impact players were guys that they ultimately ended up drafting that were developed into it. Probably say the exact same thing for the LA Rams a couple of years ago. I mean, obviously excluding going for Matthew Stafford, but that's a different kind of thing. But building within the draft and also second-year developments and second-year jumps are equally important. Like, there's a couple of players on the Buffalo Bills that were rookies last year that I see developing nicely. Like Cole Bishop, I have a feeling, is about to take a massive step forward next year. I do think Keon Coleman is going to take a massive step forward as well. What do you think about the Bills taking the Notre Dame CB, Benjamin Morrison, at number 30, if he is available? So I'll tell you what, Chris, I think that we're in an interesting position now where we can just take best player available at number 30, right? Because I think our most glaring need for this team was pass rush and defensive line. And a lot of the moves that we made were certainly bargain bin. However, I do think that we moneyballed some solutions here. So I think now, like, we can really end up taking whoever the best player available is based off of our positional needs, right? So a corner, a safety, wide receiver, perhaps. Who knows? Looking jacked, brother. I never catch you live being stationed in the Middle East. Love the Bosa signing. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. I am currently on a bulk. And I'm downing 4,000 calories a day. All right? It's hard. It's very hard to down 4,000 calories a day. All right? Healthy calories as well. And so I woke up this morning and I had a 1,000 calorie shake. And then after this, I'm going to eat 6 eggs and an avocado. All right. And then after that, I'm going to have 2 chicken thighs, half cup of rice, and another avocado. All right, man. Holy shit. But thank you. I appreciate that. I like the Bosa signing too. Let's hope that he could stay healthy. Folks, do me a favor. Dwayne, go on ahead and pin that to the top of the chat. Guys, we have an exclusive Roundtable Sports Discord channel where the conversation never stops. It is the NFL Mecca, right? And normally it is a paid-only entry. But for you guys, I'm giving it to you for free because I love you. And I know that you guys are NFL fanatics. So say, for example, that you want to join an exclusive Discord channel. Do me a favor and go join this Discord right now. It is free all the way up to today. All right. And once we end up getting to around 1,000 members, that is where we're putting up the paywall. A lot of really cool stuff right over at Roundtable Sports, including that exclusive Discord. So go on ahead and join it if you haven't already and make it happen. Cole Bishop is trash, Buffalo man. I'm sure you said the same thing about Terrell Bernard when he ultimately ended up getting drafted by the Buffalo Bills, who is a great example of who ended up really coming into his own. I'm sure you said the same thing about Christian Benford as well, who ended up having a great second season. Don't give up on a player until I'd say year 3, right? Like year 3 is where I start giving up on players. How old are you, brother? I'm just curious. I'm 33. 33 years old. And so do they all think that I was 33 years old, right? Maybe. But yeah, I'm 33. About to be 34 soon. Holy shit. Gary, no. And so avocados promote estrogen. I know, but I need the calories, baby. I need the calories to begin with. And plus, I'm taking TRT up my left ass cheek every Monday, so I think I'm okay to get a little estrogen in my system. I appreciate the cadence on your channel. Quick to respond to comments, subbed. Deoxys. Yeah, man. Thank you so much. That is like my style. And so I really like talking to Bills Mafia, like rather than just speaking to myself for an hour and a half. I do have that segment at the beginning of the show where I just yap for 15, 20 minutes, but then mostly I'm just talking to you people because I want to hear what Bills Mafia has to say. I like stirring up conversations. Bros and Unk. Chill, Matthew. Chill, my friend. And Deoxy's Super Bowl or bust for the Buffalo Bills. We have Deshaun coming in. I can see the Bills putting Bosa as the edge and Hoyt at defensive tackle. Like, he's played all over the line. And don't sleep on Hoyt's special teams capabilities. I'm pretty sure dude had 3 batted field goals last year. Fucking insane. Salvi. Love all the young fools calling NFL players trash. Young fools. I love it. We have DJ. So we can give up on Elam. He had 3 straight years. Yes, most definitely. If any Bills player that is allowed to be called trash on this channel, it's Kyer Elam. That's it for me. All right. That is it. He is trash. I'm just kidding. Carvin. You think Amari Cooper is taking a vet minimum to stay with the Bills, or is he going to take the most money he gets offered? So I'd be really surprised if he ends up signing with the Buffalo Bills again. He's only ever been traded his entire career. He's never really had a free agency time. So I think he's going to go with the most money. I have a gut feeling that he's going to be a Patriot or an LA Charger. Might be Bomber. Yo, Matthew, you better chill with that, bro. And bro's going to be at Unk forever and still no Super Bowl. The entertainer. Oh, my God. Dan, and so you ever want to go live for 3 rounds in the octagon, let me know. I'm a boxer, baby. I'm a boxer. What are your thoughts on Nick Emanwari from South Carolina at safety? Stud. He's the next Kyle Hamilton. I just don't know if he'd be a guy. We got Bishop saying, if Bosa stays healthy, watch how Oliver pops off. As we've said before with Ed Oliver, he's not the kind of defensive lineman that's going to elevate a defensive line, but he is elevated by who is around him. Dan, who's in Paris? Relax, bro. Relax. Nick Emanwari is a box safety. He is not a fit for the Buffalo Bills. He's solid in coverage, too. But yes, I do know that is half of his identity. You think Beane is going to make one more splash tonight? It's hard to say. Because number one, I don't know how much money we have right now. Like, I don't. It is a complete mystery how much cash we have at the moment. Because the specifics of Josh Allen are still not on Spot Track. So the Chiefs restructured contracts of Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, and created $49 million in salary cap. 49ers agree to terms with DB Trey Brown, and the Bills agree to re-sign safety Damar Hamlin. Those are the latest moves so far in free agency. No, take D-aspartic acid and crank up the protein intake, creatine intake, and reduce carbs. He'll go with the dirty bulk, and since you're doing TRT, might as well hit a cycle of Winstrol for a cut. What's that new one, Gary, that's like super popular? It's called like It's called retrobutide or something like that. And so have you heard of retrobutide before? Like that's something like one of my buddies is really in on. Um, yeah, we'll see. Because like honestly, like right before this bulk, and so I was on the carnivore for a long time. And then and so I got cut like really, really good, but then I kind of started losing strength and I was like, nah, fuck it. And so I got to go ahead and go on a bulk. But let me know your thoughts on retrobutide. I've heard that that's all the rage. Let's get Trey. Del boy, how much longer will Milano be a Bill? One more year, if I'm a guess. Larry will be a better pickup for y'all than Bosa. Book it from a former divisional rival. Have a Ravens guy coming on in. He's showing love on the Larry Ogunjobi. I mean, listen, if Bosa can stay healthy for us, right? Like, give me a 16-game season. I'm fine with that. And so do you trust Cole Bishop? He started to look good toward the back half of the season, and I am never going to sleep on what this coaching staff has done for second year, I'd say, so with the contributors. Reason Philly rookies popped off is because the D-line was dominant, and secondary is fine / Bishop should get a chance to start. How do you like Harrison late first, early second versus Walter Nolan defensive tackle? I am a big Maxwell Harrison guy. 4.28 40. His coverage was fantastic. And half of the reason why I think that he's falling and he's not in the same conversation as Will Johnson and or so the Jahdae Brown is because he only played like 6 games last year because he was injured, or 4 games. His last full season in college was insane. That and Siobhan Revel as well. He was a corner that was having a hell of a 2023 season, but he missed almost the entire 2024 due to an ACL injury, which is kind of a bit of a concern there. But a lot of good corners, and 2 of which is Maxwell Harrison and Siobhan Revel, which missed all and the majority of the 2024 season. That could potentially be a sleeper pick for us. Hamlin is not a strong safety. No. He's a free, baby. Man, Ditchell. Wow, dude. One of my boys used to call me that back in the day. Dan, we need to get Asante Samuel Jr., and we are going to the ship. We have DD Morph balls, too. Trend for cutting, and I've been on TRT for 30 years now. Yeah, but I don't know about Trend. Bro. Yeah, I've heard some horror stories about Trend. Breaking news, Josh Allen just gave $30 million discount to the Buffalo for a speed weapon. We have Del Boy, and the only move left to make is to bring back the Buffalo Jills. Where have the Buffalo Jills been? Man, Dayquon. You guys are crazy. Anyway, and how do you feel about going full Ole Miss and getting Trey Amos and Trey Harris? So Harris is really good, but so I think Trey Harris is very similar to a Josh Palmer as far as his skill set, right? Like he's more of a route runner. He's not very fast. I do like Trey Amos a lot. So as far as corners that I would love at CB2 from the draft, I would put Trey Amos there. I would put Maxwell Harrison there. I would be fine with throwing a flyer at Siobhan Revel, although that he missed all of 2024. His upside is absolutely insane. But I think those 3 are probably my favorite early round corner prospects. Let me see. Dan, and can we take a deep dive at possible cornerbacks in round 1? I hate to say it, but I have this feeling, CB / wide receiver round 1 could happen again. I'm going to tell you what, Dwayne. I feel like you and I are on the exact same page with that, but I'm not necessarily upset with it. Right? All right, guys, we doing a mock draft right now? Dude, fuck it. It's a Wednesday afternoon, and I'm having so much fun chopping it up with you guys right now. You know what? We might as well just stick around a little bit longer. All right, smash that like button for me so we can just go a little bit longer on the stream. Owen is saying, how do you feel about drafting players based on the sizes of their Johnsons like Jerry Jones? Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like 4.5 inches only. All right. Because that's massive. Like, right. Okay, you have Azareye'h Thomas out of FSU for the Buffalo Bills. He looked really good at the Senior Bowl. Very, very good. And so I'm natural, 52 years old, 17-inch arms. And when training hard, go down to 7% body fat. That is insane. That's wild, dude. Oh, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. It's wild. Like for me, man, like that's all I do. And so I wake up in the morning, and so I lift for like 2 hours. And so I walk on the treadmill on an incline for about a half hour, and then I just come here and I spew out videos about the NFL until I go to sleep. That is my life. That is literally all I do. And so I don't drink anymore. So yeah. And that's my idea of fun. Is really all I do. I'm pretty boring, I'm not gonna lie. And so all I do is I just work out and I work. That's about it. What is your opinion on Larry Ogunjobi? Solid depth move. And according to habitual line stepper, a Ravens fan, he says that he believes that is a more impact signing than Joey Bosa is. I'm certainly intrigued, but I want the Larry Ogunjobi that was on the Cincinnati Bengals in 2021 because that was his best season. Spin, Dan. And so you have to stay live at least until the Bills sign one more player. Wow. Holy shit. Holy shit. All right, man. We can see what we can do there. George is saying, how do you feel about Cole Bishop, and do you still trust him? I'm still going to give him bare minimum 2 more years because I don't put a label on a rookie until after year 3. Hence why I haven't really been a huge advocate of saying that Kyer Elam is trash until after this year. We get the safety from South Carolina. We can release Hamlin. Everyone wants Hamlin gone, man. Nice guy. We have TJ O'Connell. Sounds like fun for me, dog. Todd is saying, dude, Hamlin is great depth. We have Judy. Is there any news on Asante Samuel Jr. yet? Still a pending free agent. Last thing I saw was we were allegedly in a bidding war with another team. I'm not sure if I trust that source. And trust me, I am scrolling and refreshing. We have Colts are keeping offensive lineman Danny Pinter, for a 1-year deal. And the Denver Broncos will host North Dakota State quarterback Cam Miller. Lions wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown has been paying attention to what the Bears are doing. Okay, that's a puff piece. No other NFL updates as of now. Latest is 49ers agree to terms with DB Trey Brown. That is the last piece of significant news that has come out. No pain, no gain, remain the same. Lee Haney. Hamlin for Bob. Maybe. Thanks, Mike. We have Camden. What's going to happen with Cole? It's depending on who you ask. I have a feeling that the starting safety tandem is going to be Rapp and Cole Bishop next year. No pain, no gain, remain the same, Lee Haney. And you all want Asante, and you will get Kyer Elam, and you will like it. Oh, fuck it, A. Fuck it, A, dude. Oh, my God. I'm just joining now. Can you give me a rundown? Chris S. All right, man. So we've had quite a few developments in the world of the Buffalo Bills. Late last night, we agreed to terms with Joey Bosa for a 1-year deal at $12.5 million. And then early this morning, we agreed to a 1-year deal with Larry Ogunjobi, a defensive tackle from Pittsburgh. He was drafted by Cleveland, then went to Cincinnati, then went to Pittsburgh. Holy hell, he spent his entire career in the AFC North. I wonder if he will finish up the cycle and become a Baltimore Raven once his 1-year deal is over with the Buffalo Bills. And we also ended up agreeing to terms with bringing back Damar Hamlin, which obviously is a very polarizing topic. A lot of people are upset. Was not expecting DeAndre Hopkins to the Ravens. It is not DeAndre Hopkins that signed with the Ravens. It is the ghost of DeAndre Hopkins that signed with the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sorry, habitual line stepper. I'm sorry about that. All right, guys. All right. You want a mock? Chill out. Chill out. Let's do a mock draft. Oh, man. Let's do a mock draft, huh? Because now I'm intrigued. because obviously I think our intentions and I think our overall priorities have shifted since it's very clear that free agency has set Brandon Beane's at least wish list of where he might be going in this draft. And then Habitual Line Stepper is like, what happened? I just missed it. So you missed out some great jokes on the AFC North. First off, I said that Larry Ogunjobi is just a Baltimore Ravens contract away from completing the AFC North cycle. And then I also said that the Baltimore Ravens did not sign DeAndre Hopkins, that they signed the ghost of DeAndre Hopkins. But it's all good and fun. It's all good and fun. All right, listen, we're just going to go a 5-rounder. We'll go slowish. There's the Buffalo Bills. Let's start it, baby. Let's see how the board would fall to us. No trades on this one. And then don't worry, we'll do some other mock draft here sooner rather than later. All right, starting the draft. Let's do it. Cam Ward, have Abdul Carter. Oh, we have Armand Membu. And by the way, so we are seeing significant differences between platforms and simulators. So we can do one here, and then afterwards I'll do one over on the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator to see how the board falls at 30. That's kind of where we're at right now. All right. So, oh, man. All right. So, had Matthew Golden go 2 spots before the Buffalo Bills. So perhaps this is something that could potentially fall to us, something to consider at that, right? You have Luther Burden, wide receiver. First look. 5'11", 208. True all-around an athlete with adequate height and weight. He's agile, explosive, yet powerful and balanced. He's a 5-tool, multi-sport athlete for the receiver position in the NFL. First-round talent is as well-rounded as they come. Bottom line is Burden is an ideal 5-tool, multi-sport athlete. So Burden is a possibility. He's probably the second best wide receiver in the draft by itself. So he could potentially do that. He runs a 4.4. So he runs a 4.4. Like, we can wait. Have Derek Harmon, who I know a lot of us want. I would love Derek Harmon. Not going to lie there. Not going to lie there. And nobody wants to trade down with the Buffalo Bills. So you would have Derek Harmon. You'd have Luther Burden. You have Darius Alexander, who is also a potential dude. 6'4", 310. But his measurables and strength are NFL caliber. He is contributing NFL defensive line and worse due to his strength profile, while starting caliber impact potential odd and even fronts. So it was a late bloomer over in Toledo. So if this was the case, I might take Luther Burden or Walter Nolan, who I think, yeah, I mean, he could be the guy. 6'3", 305. I'd probably go, oh, man, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So Luther Burden, all right. I'd probably go Walter Nolan on this one. Probably go Walter Nolan. I'd be all right with that. I might be all right with that. Hey, man. Okay, you have Azareye'h Thomas. And then let's see exactly how deep this class goes, who's going to be available. And, guys, I am not doing any trade-ups on this one. All right, next up, 56. Do keep in mind, we have a 62. You have Shamar Turner. You have Alfred Collins, Cam Scatabo. I know y'all love Cam Scatabo. Darian Porter's interesting, too. If we're really looking, Darian Porter, 6'4", 200. A rare prospect. He is a wide receiver turned cornerback with ideal ball skills, ranks about 95th percentile in height and length, and has an elite track background that translates to the field. He is still raw as just one player starter despite being a 6-year player, but his special team impact. And I mean, listen, I like Darian Porter here a lot. I'd probably go Darian Porter here. And to be completely honest with you, is that kind of a reach? Yeah, but I'm kind of scared that he wouldn't come to us. I'm going Darian Porter on this one. Darian Porter, come on. All right, next up. We already have defensive linemen. Have Walter Nolan, have Darian Porter to begin with. Have Restrepo. I'm not a big Restrepo guy. I really wasn't a fan of Restrepo at the Senior Bowl. We already got a corner. Edge. I'm trying to think what else we would go here. Castro's intriguing. Have Elijah Roberts. You have Knoll, who is interesting too. Royals goes down here. Let me check out these trades. 65 for the Giants. Cowboys at 76. I feel like we have a lot of picks. Down to the third, 76, 62, 150. I'm good. Yeah. Holy shit. The Cowboys really want this shit, don't they? All right. I'm not going to do any trades on this one. Or do I? Jack Sawyer is intriguing too. I got Jack Sawyer. Please. I go Jack Sawyer on this one. I go Jack Sawyer on that tad right there, man. Listen, I'm getting jazzed up on this, baby. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What do we got? Hey, you know what? Hold on. Spaghetti-o. Let's trade up a little bit. Let's trade up because we got a lot of picks. Let's give them 131. Let's try this one. I'm going to trade up. Oh, man. Hold up. Where's our next pick at 171? We could go Kevin Winston. Nah, his coverage grade's ass. I don't like Tez Johnson. Dorian Strong's intriguing. Have Deion Walker. We could potentially add Isaiah Bond. Here's your speedster. Here's your speedster right here, folks. Let's see what we got. Savion Williams. 6'5", 225. Let me see. .448. Oh, not fast enough for you, boy. He did 24 miles an hour, though. Savion. We do good with wide receivers in the mid rounds. We could. He's a 4.48. Savion? I think Isaiah Bond's intriguing here. What about linebacker? We got any linebacker things? Let me see. Bosa. I'll go Isaiah Bond here. I'll go Isaiah Bond. Let's turn up this turbo. Let's turn this up, baby. Let's turn it up. All right. We have Walter Nolan, Darian Porter, Jack Sawyer, Isaiah Bond so far in the drafts. We have 2 more picks. So Lindenberg is interesting. Tight end Jackson Hawes. Cody Simon. Coverage grade solid. Pass rush grade solid. 6'2", 235. All right, Cody Simon. Welcome to the Buffalo Bills. Last pick. Let's see what the wide receiver situation looks like. Lane, Antoine Wells, Will Shepard, Theo Weiss. Nothing there. Give me, hold up. You know what? 5'9", 205 for Trevor Etienne. Good there. Tyler Cooper, a left guard. Why not? Why not? Tyler guard, because I'm not sure how long David Edwards is under contract. 6'6", 310 pounds. All right. I'll take that too. Let's see what PFF has to say. They gave me a B. Walter Nolan, Darian Porter, Jack Sawyer, Isaiah Bond, Cody Simon, and Tyler Cooper is what I would be going with. We have a David Edwards backup and replacement potentially. It could be Tyler Cooper in the 5th round. So I'm not even so much upset about that. Like Bond hit 24 miles an hour despite a shit 40. Is Bond the one that talks shit about running a faster 40 than Worthy, then completely choked? That's the dude. But you know what? So now he has a chip on his shoulder. And this seems like the best draft thus far. Sign the Mafia up. Jonas is coming on in. Yeah, man, listen. I feel like I'd be all right with this, right? Because remember, yes, we do have Bosa, but like he's on a 1-year deal. So I think a Jack Sawyer for the second round pick's pretty solid. I think Darian Porter as the corner makes a lot of sense. We traded up into the 3rd for Isaiah Bond, Cody Simon, and then Tyler Cooper. A left guard potential replacement. Oh, I don't know if you saw it, but Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Bills have re-signed Damar Hamlin. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That would be one hell of a draft. Dwayne, you're gassing me up, man. You're gassing me up, brother. And should I put this in? I feel like I'm putting this up. Yes, sir. I'm dropping it on Twitter, baby. Dropping it on Twitter for the boys to salivate over. Bang. Bang, brother. And so I like Nolan, but isn't he similar to Oliver? He's a bit bigger. He's like 6'3", 305. He's a big dude. Put it up, Dan. Drop it. I love that draft. So holy shit. And given 3 draft picks up for Bond is a reach. I mean, it's all fun and games, right? It's all fun and games. And you forgot to draft Scatabo. I'm a big Scatabo guy. And so I wouldn't be upset if he ultimately ended up falling to the Buffalo Bills, but we'll see. Why did we not use Jamarcus Ingram last year? We used in the beginning of the season. He had 2 picks. Instead of playing him, they played Elam. It's a great question and remains to be seen. And did you just bitch slap Bob? You can do better than that. See, like a bitch slap's a hell of a lot more like disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a disrespectful kind of thing. You know what I mean? Come on, Bob. Counter with a headbutt. Oh, man. Milo can cover better than Elam. Yes, he can. Come here, buddy. Say hello to the chat. Say hello to the chat, Milo. He's blind. He's blind. He can't see. Say something, brother. And so I got to take that fool out so we can take a little dump. That's what I think he's got to do. That dog's a cutie. Oh, man. Oh, man. The next heir, Bud. We got Jordan Smith. Probably Jake Camadra. Maddie just came in and said he's blind and can play better than Elam. He said, yummy dog, bro. Relax. Relax, brother. Nice dog, brother. Thank you, man. All right, guys, listen. I got to take this guy out for a nice little nature walk. I still haven't showered, so I got to shower too. And so y'all can't smell me, but trust me, it's not ideal. Love you guys. I will be live on Roundtable Sports 4th and Forever at 2 p.m. EST. It is our NFL show. I'm excited to unpack everything. And I will see you later. Peace.